Morning, dear friends and masters. I met Brahmashi Patriji, who is the founder of Pyramid Spiritual Societies movement, 25 years ago. So the first thing that he mentioned when I met him was that you may have achieved many things, but living life is a science and you don't know it. What he was trying to refer to at that point was the spiritual science or the science of meditation, which is making us an unlimited, infinite being. We are, in his own words, we are very, very limited in thought, but yet thoughts create our outer reality constantly. And so we constantly analyze and then limit ourselves from many, many ways, whereas we are designed to create through our thought, through the expansion of our thought. So I didn't understand what he meant by that, because thoughts are thoughts, so they're there. I never even paid attention to what they meant. But only later, after doing thorough study about this whole concept of how life experiences are coming into reality, what is connected, what is the mind, where are thoughts coming from, and how is an experience created, and everything is scientifically corroborated. And then where is meditation coming into picture? Because then he said, if you meditate, then you're cultivating your mind, and so when you cultivate your mind, you have a great life. So I'm very, very deeply grateful to him. Subsequently, then I have associated myself with him in practicing meditation. And I liked his philosophy and the way he carried his teachings is because one, the meditation technique that we learn is very, very simple. Two, he always said that you heal your challenges, you solve your problems, you heal your life, you create your life by your own self. Be a light unto yourself. That is the constant caption that I used to see. Be a light unto yourself. That means you are the one to take care of your life, not somebody else. There's no something out there which is coming and then taking care. If people are not doing things the way you expect them, and then if you continue to complain, then there is no solution. So it is always then you feel helpless if they don't change. That is fine, but then he said, if you change your thought, the way you think about things, and then if you do meditation, then things will change, and automatically whatever that you're looking for will continue to happen. Empowerment is with you, but not outside with somebody else, and all of that is happening through meditation. So we wanted to explore this scientifically to say, how does that happen? But then I wanted to practice for a few days. First thing that happened when I practiced this, and by the way, I was introduced to this meditation by my younger brother, medical doctor, GK. He was also simultaneously telling me that time, he runs one of the partner organization called Spiritual Tablets Foundation, which is essentially believes that healing is through wisdom capsules. If we change our thought, if we change our understanding of life, and then behave appropriately or being able to express our emotion, then all healing will happen. And so spiritual tablets are wisdom capsules. And so he was introducing me, telling me that meditation will give you success, meditation will give you growth. The conference theme is excellence through meditation. And I was in the United States, very successful from a IT career perspective. And so that time I used to tell him, meditation is only when at the time of retirement, not now, so don't waste your time. You're just a budding medical doctor, so you should be really going and practicing things, but not talk about meditation. But then slowly, when I met Patriji, then I felt that I must explore this, and I started exploring. Because meditation is about experiencing the invisible, experiencing the infinite frequencies of the entire universe. Everything is an energy science that we are an energy being is what we heard from Devi Krishna Kumarji, that we are an energy being. Everything is an energy science. And if we start looking into it, explore it, then the science is revealing that there is an energy science, and then the physical frequency, physical nature is just a frequency, and meditation helps us to go beyond the physical frequency, which is an infinite frequency. And so then we experience many things. And all of that is triggered through the thought. So when I came into practice, I wanted to explore it. The simple meditation that we will practice today and then throughout the day, explore it, then the first thing that I saw is that I became very, very light. I no longer was worrying about things the way I was projecting. I was a director in a software company that time. I was no longer projecting things if the deliveries are not happening and 2 weeks later, if the delivery is there, deadline is there, but then I may not meet, but it is okay. Before meditation, I was constantly carrying that stress, constantly thinking about what will happen. Will this happen, not happen? And so the stress, which apparently is caused, which I didn't know then, by repeated thinking, constant rumination, the stress was removed in medical language. There's no stress. Stress was dramatically gone down. Second thing, something beautiful happened is that meditation helped me bring into a positive thinking and positive state. I was asked to read a lot of books, good books, many good books that are suggested, philosophical as well as scientific books on meditation, which I was also reading simultaneous to practice of meditation. And the books were telling me things like your thoughts create reality. They were telling me your body can heal. They're telling me that what you think is whatever you say, think about people. If you have judgment about people, they exhibit that way. You are mirrors. Everything that all your relationships are mirrors with others. So that means if you are having a specific not so great relationship with somebody, it's because there is a certain reflection inside you. If you fix that, then automatically people will change on the outer. Everything was pointing to a change inside. But this meditation, while I was reading those books too regularly, while parallel to meditation practice, which I was doing about an hour a day, for about 40 to 60 days, I did initially just to explore. And then the second thing that happened is that people started changing. The same person who was biased to me no longer is biased to me. The same person who was not cooperating with me no longer is cooperating. No longer was non-cooperative, is very cooperating. That things changed. So work became very, very beautiful because you go to work to experience joyful moments. And so you want the team to be cooperative. And so then that was happening automatically. And the third thing that happened was that in a few days from then, about 4 months later, I healed of a medical condition which was preventing me from doing air travel freely. Every time I do an air travel, my ears would get blocked, but they don't get unblocked when you've come down from the flight. And that was bothering me significantly because that would create intense pain, and then that would lead to infection. Then I had to take antibiotics every time I do it. So it was the pain that was bothering me quite a bit. So I was discouraging myself to doing air travel. But if you are in a corporate career, if you have to travel and then you have to cut down travel, if you are in leadership positions particularly, then you have a challenge. You are compromising on career. So that was happening. But to my great surprise, in spite of 6 years of visiting many, many ENT specialists, and then all of them saying only one thing, that this is a lifelong condition. Decongestion does not happen that easily for you. And so decongestion doesn't happen, so it's going to be there. And you just have to live with some tablets and painkillers and stuff. But that 4 months of practice of meditation, it automatically disappeared. So I was very, very surprised. The next time I took an air travel, I used to travel quite a bit between Bangalore and the United States those days. And so then, next time I was doing these multiple flights you have to take to do connections. And I used to dread the travel because, if you're there waiting 6 hours in between an airport and then no doctor, so it's all a pain. But then, after 4 months of practice, without even me noticing it, these things were no longer occurring to me. My ears were just great, and then I was using flight after flight. And I was very, very surprised and happy that things happened just like that. I didn't realize. Only then I realized, okay, so I didn't have pain this time. That condition that I was told that will be a lifelong condition disappeared. And we see this now with many, many people who join our programs. Thousands and thousands of people are healing. 70% say they're healing after 40 days of meditation. They know that they're healing or they're healed of maybe some IBS condition, maybe some migraine headache. They say, no longer occurring. I used to have a migraine every now and then. It's not there. So the moment I realized this health benefit has happened, so that then when I had to test myself, next time I traveled 2 months later, I said, let me not carry any medication to see if it's going to work still, because maybe I was under this protection of medication on the side as a standby. And I did that, and then again, no pain. And so that's the time I decided that our body heals, and then I can experiment on my body. And so we can continue to live a life which is free of any issues with the body, and then even if there is some sickness, and then automatically it heals because of a regular meditation and a vegetarian diet that I've taken since that time. 20 years plus, and then you don't have to visit, you don't have to worry about health or visit doctors or anything, because meditation is truly helping to heal ourselves. The energy is there, and then there's so much science. And so with these understandings of having greater relationship with people, and then stress not there, and then health improved suddenly of the condition that was told to be incurable. And so then it became apparent that I must continue to explore this significantly. That's when I associated with Patriji, a great master who founded Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement. Through this, for the last 40 years, millions of people have been taught this simple meditation we practice. This meditation, Patriji was very, very scientific in nature. So it always encouraging and saying, whatever you say, it must be verifiable. If you say awareness comes, how does awareness come? We all know that I should speak nicely, I should not express anger, then I must reflect in the night. Everything is there. I must be, positive at any given time. But then how many of those that we can follow through? We know a lot of good things are there. Ahimsa paramo dharma is there. A lot of good things are there, but how many can we follow? And why is that we're not able to follow? Because I think I make a resolution, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be there. Every day I'll wake up at 6 o'clock and do my 1 hour study, because that's a great time to read. Or I do my exercise. But we have so many of them, but then many times we don't even able to follow through the resolutions we make. Because there's fundamentally something is happening through our mind and subconscious, and then meditation is there to build that awareness for us to latch on to the resolutions we can make. That awareness, to be in the moment to moment, present in the moment, to say, what is it that I must do? That awareness is built plenty through meditation, apart from many, many things. And so then I explored, and then Patriji was a great master through whom he wanted this simple meditation, if it can be given. Now, we're grateful with Karthikeyan sir, who is constantly been advocating meditation as a single solution. If the meditation can be given, then all problems would be solved, is how Patriji would translate to, and then have the simple, and it should be simple so that anyone, any age can practice it. It has to be simple. So people who are not educated cannot follow 20 steps of doing step 1, step 2. This should be very, very simple. And so with that simple technology of meditation, Patriji helped to create many, many meditation channels, many, many masters worldwide, through whom this is spreading. And so Buddhasiva Quantum Foundation, can I get the channel, please? Rakesh, I need slides to be practiced. So with that, we wanted to take meditation. Buddhasiva Quantum Foundation was formed with Patriji's guidance to take meditation more scientifically, to understand what exactly happens in meditation. And so we're taking with the scientific voice. Buddhasiva Quantum Foundation was formed. So Buddhasiva Quantum Foundation was formed to take with scientific voice to many, many leadership, because Patriji had this vision that, take this to the leadership, because leaders have many resources who can then, when they are convinced of meditation, then they can easily implement it. The resources of, people, wisdom, material, money, all of that can be extended easily to everyone. And so then we formed this Buddhasiva Quantum Foundation with mentorship by Padma Shri Karthikeyan sir, constantly helping us, guiding us, in introducing to as many people, because we carry a scientific understanding of why things and how things are happening. And then same, we're grateful to our mentors, Balasubramaniam ji, and then R.V. Ramani sir, Padma Shri R.V. Ramani, and then Dr. G.K. who introduced me. We're ever grateful to many, many Buddha CEOs worldwide who are taking this to many, many organizations more scientifically. Yes. So I wanted to quickly talk about this research that is done. It is called placebo effect. How many people are aware of placebo effect? Placebo. So this is a simple concept, but it is very widely used and important that with meditation, some of these come alive and then we apply these concepts, because placebo effect is saying that if there is a placebo concept is used in medical industry, pharmaceutical industry to create new tablets and drugs. And so patients are taken, and then whenever a drug company wants to introduce a new medication, so then they have to give the medication, the tablets, the drugs, they take patients, and then they went to two groups or multiple groups. One group, they've been given this a real medicine tablet and say this tablet is going to cure, let's say, bring your BP down in 1 hour to normal, whatever that new magical tablet. And here is this another group, they give a fake tablet, not real tablet, and so then they tell that this fake tablet is going to take care of your BP and is going to bring it down in 1 hour. And so both of them, at the end of a few weeks of trials, both of them give results. And the fake tablet, people who take fake tablet also are always exhibiting a recovery in their health. And so then the drug companies have to demonstrate that the real tablet also showed adequate result as much as the fake tablet. And then they are given an approval for the drug. So it's called placebo effect, that if you believe in something and if you don't doubt it, then automatically it becomes real. So it means, it is talking about thought. Belief means thought, deep thought and feeling. And if you have that, then automatically it gives you results. So they did this experimentation on asthma patients. And asthma patients, they've taken inhalers, and then they brought asthma patients by a medical clinic. And the medical clinic said, we are doing research, so be part of it. And they've taken asthma patients, they gave them inhalers, and they told them in the inhaler, we are filling it with allergen. Allergen will inflate the asthma. And then they gave them inhalers, but actually they filled the inhaler with only water vapor. And so when they put the water vapor, they gave them it is allergen, so if you inhale, you're going to asthma will flare up. And so to their great surprise, they found that after inhaling the inhalers containing water vapor, the asthma patients had seen that their asthma increased seriously to 30% of people, that they had to now administer a drug for them to actually come down again, asthma to come down, just by inhaling water vapor, just because they've been told that it contains allergen. So they believe it contains allergen, they believe they're inhaling allergen, and so their asthma condition flared up, right? 48% had this condition. Now the reverse is even true. Now when they're having asthma, now they said, okay, we are giving you inhaler, will contain, some relief medication, and so that's going to take care of it. Now, but however, when they're giving inhaler, they put allergen this time, real allergen, which will actually trigger asthma even worse. So they told them, we're giving you relief medication in the inhaler this time because you have asthma. It'll go down, but then actually put an allergen, so it should ideally flare up, but their asthma came down. So it didn't matter what they're actually carrying in the inhaler. It is the belief that the patients had, the thought they had, was what is causing them to heal or not heal. It's called placebo. Our belief, if I believe something strongly, then that is showing up, that's coming up. Faith healing. A lot of times masters heal. But the master's healing is that it is your faith, significantly, there's a lot of research that is there. So the important concept here is the difference, the how much belief I have, and how if I believe, if I strongly think this can happen, then it happens. Another simple story. Now this is definitely astonishing. Now there are a group of maids in a hotel, and every time the hotel hires the maids, and then they are there, house cleaning staff, and they are cleaning these rooms. And apparently in that hotel industry, cleaning the toilets is one of the most toughest things to do, and it becomes very, very tiresome. Now, so this, the house cleaning staff, when they're joining, and then usually within 2 to 3 months, they all develop some kind of backache and problems, and so they're resigning. And so the hotelier who wanted to understand, because every time someone joins, they resign after 2 3 months, developing some backaches. They felt, basically, they all feeling that it's very, very tiresome, very, very difficult job to do, because in a day, in 8 hours, they'll do 8 9 rooms. That means there was so much time they're spending cleaning so many toilets. It is, of course, tiresome. It is a little painful. But they believed strongly, because every time they were, now generally house cleaning staff, they all are being referred by friends and friends and friends. So every time they're being hired, they always had stories listening from their friends. Oh, okay, you're doing this. It's going to be very, very difficult for you. That hotel particularly, they're not well designed rooms, and so it's going to be so much stretch, and it's going to be really difficult. So they were hearing these stories from friends or the other. So they would come in, and then they would go through a 3 month of job. Then they also have developed problems, because their friends also would tell, I developed this backache, my backache aggravated, my knees problem, all that. But then when this hotelier had this thing, then he said, okay, I need to do something about it. So then he invited a neuroscientist or somebody who also knows about physical training as well as life training. So he brought him, and then all he did was to make them and give them a half-an-hour lecture, explaining them and making a connection, making them do a different meaning about the process. He said, you know what, when you're doing this cleaning of this sink, then you are stretching your hand. When you're going and then doing this cleaning of this toilets, you're stretching your back quite nicely. It's giving you right exercise. When you're going and then reaching out to that dustbin right in that corner, your back is really, really giving a good exercise. So gave them a lot of tips about why everything they're doing is helping their body differently. It just a positive meaning is what you explained to them. With that positive meaning, and then afterwards, nobody ever reported any health problems ever since they understood. It's called new meaning. If we assign a meaning to whatever that we understand, then automatically we are able to then create that. So the moment they had a new meaning that, okay, this is good for us when we are able to do this cleaning, hard work, but however, it is good for my body. So they're thinking they're actually doing an exercise, and automatically the daily exercise is coming. So they're happy, and so no more complaints about health. So the point here, dear friends, is that our thoughts create our outer reality is there. Now, quantum physics corroborates this concept. When I was experiencing, when I came into meditation, I was experiencing this, that people would tell me, your thoughts create things, and it is happening. Meditation clears all the negative thought, and so then meditation keeps us into a positive frame, and so many good things happen. And so then, how to investigate? So now quantum physics come to our rescue. Quantum physics is telling us that everything out there is energy. 99.99% out there is energy and emptiness. It's empty, it is all energy. It's full of possibilities. And so quantum physics is saying that 99.99% out there is emptiness and energy. It's all full of possibilities. Possibility means experience. And there are experiments from quantum physics. We explain this quite a bit in our programs, online programs, all of them are free. That our energy becomes matter through observation. The statement that we have heard, "Bhavam Tat Bhavati," means that what your bhava is, what you experience. Energy becomes matter through observation. So by default, according to quantum physics, everything in this universe is all energy, and then all experiences are there in the energy, because according to physics, there is only energy and matter. There are two states. And so all experiences that are there in this energy field, and then they become matter through observation. Observation is thought and feeling. What you think is what you become. In this double slit experimentation they have done, and then you can search on the YouTube, double slit experimentation, you will find that wherever there is a conscious observer, then an electron by default, which is energy, becomes matter. There is huge science here explaining. An electron by default, which is energy, which we all thought is particle, but actually is energy. So that means everything is energy, and then energy becomes matter when there is a conscious observer. The observer who is expecting something to be there as a particle or a matter, and so then it becomes that. So the point, dear friends, is that there is placebo research which is talking about thoughts create reality, and then there is the concept of quantum physics concepts, which are also indicating that energy becomes matter through observation, right? And so then, of course, we must verify. And so then, what is the thing about if our thoughts create things, and then if we can control our mind, and if we can train our mind to be beautifully there, then of course, then we should draw experiences. And then we should be able to verify it by ourselves. Meditation is that thing that trains our mind significantly. And a mind is in two aspects of it. There is a restless nature of the mind, and then there is a limited nature of the mind. A restless nature, 50,000 thoughts a day, and it is going here, there, what will happen in future? Can I express in this meeting? Will they think something about me? Will I lose this? Will I lose that? Jobs are not there. It's a restless nature, jumping back and forth. My life is difficult, so many things are there based on the situation that are occurring everywhere, right? And the limiting nature is saying, like an elephant, is basically tying itself, called beliefs. A limiting nature, I can't do this, it's not possible by me, I don't have a good degree. So there all are limitations that we set ourselves. If thoughts create reality, then if I have a limitation, if I believe that I say I'm unlucky, then I'm unlucky. If you say that my bosses just don't encourage innovation, then it's a limiting nature, so you'll never even attempt to try something new in your organization when you think you already decided it's yourself. Thoughts create reality. So then what is mapped here? Next slide. So there are three brains that our brain, if you look at it and map it in, there are three brains. One is the conscious mind, which is the outer part of the brain, which is a big part of the brain that we all carry, but then we use only a little part of it. And then there is this subconscious mind, which is inside. A little part of the brain called limbic brain, emotion brain. So the conscious mind, which is mapped to this big part of the brain, is where we have this restless nature of the thoughts jumping everywhere. And so many negative thoughts, so much negative reality. Right now, if I say, this is not going to be great, so probably we're going to have a not a great experience with a person. This person is always a little challenging. So we talk that way, then that person is also, this person is a little frustrated. So then we'll get a frustrating answer from the other person. So a negative reality is created through this restless nature of the mind. And the second is subconscious mind, which is belief system. 90% of our life events are through the subconscious mind, which are limitations, the beliefs. And so these two aspects, if they can be fixed, the conscious mind and subconscious mind can be fixed. And if the subconscious limitation that we have, money is evil, now companies don't give hikes, and nobody changes ever, in politics are difficult to handle. So everything that we have as a conclusion is all called limitations. And if thoughts create reality, limitations create the same limited reality. That's the whole idea, right? My body cannot heal because I'm about 60 years, and so it doesn't have enough support. And so then we're thinking that way, we say that way. But on the contrary, we have seen now many people who change that thought, they're actually healing, they're actually back on track, they're actually walking, they're going around and doing many things. Because they start thinking differently, strongly. And so then the solution, dear friends, is to train the mind, retrain the mind, is to two things. One is meditation, another is wisdom. Meditation and wisdom together. Wisdom is helping us to come out of the limitation, that everything is possible. Wisdom from quantum physics, wisdom from placebo concepts, wisdom from various people, they experience life through a great thought. For example, Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can see it. That is life experience summed up. And so all you have to do is to dream, which is Abdul Kalamji's concept too. Imagination is a lot more important. And then she always said, so their life is saying that if you have great thought, then you can get to the great life. And so applying all of this, then we need wisdom to change the limitation, and then we need meditation to be able to aware to apply the wisdom at the right time. That awareness, the being in the moment, to bring that wisdom into action is the whole idea. And so meditation helps one to be in the present moment to apply the wisdom so that they readily are able to move into a positive state of territory. There are, of course, some more aspects that meditation is doing to the brain in terms of helping. It's called neuroscience. The neuroscience of the meditation Neuroscience is telling us that when you people meditate, that means meditation means emptying the mind and resting the mind. And when you people meditate, then it is helping to fundamentally alter change the structure of the brain significantly. The brain has so many reasons. They're called neurons and neural cells, and all of them are thickening. The neurons are getting developed, and much of neural glue is there, because of which the structure of the brain is changed. So many aspects of the brain regions are becoming thicker and then more flexible, and so they become coherent. So they all work together beautifully. If you have a group of people together in a meeting, and if they're all independently working, so there is nothing much gets done. If everybody is trying to prove their points, if they're trying to cooperate with each other, okay, one person made a point, another person not required to make the same point repeated unnecessarily, then you have something happening. So brain also, all the different reasons are due to stress. They're not working coherently. So the meditation helps to bring new neurons, neural groove, and then coherency. So all part of the brain work together. And then the second thing that meditation, as they were done the research, receives that there are thoughts of different frequency, and then meditation is moving the brain in getting rid of all the unwanted thought, the stressful thought, and then moves into a frequency of thought which are very beneficial to us. Beneficial brain waves means, for example, being able to read faster, learn faster, being able to create, look for new ways of doing things, innovation, healing. They're all are beneficial brain states, and a peak performance. International athletes go into a peak performance state called gamma. The brain has a state called gamma. Into the gamma states, if you go in, then suddenly the brain is working, everything is working like at a super natural state, and so then they can provide your best performance possible. And then that is happening for many people when they meditate. So meditation, scientifically observed in the brain, that it moves into a very beneficial states. Because of that, and then much research that is there, many research items are there, like whole brain synchronization, and then shrinking of your fear center called amygdala in the brain. So many research items are there, and because of all of that, when meditation is practiced, and so so we have some fundamental benefits. And the first one is the stress is removed significantly. Body moves into a homeostasis mode when you meditate, which means all the unwanted thought is gone, and so as a result, then the stress, that means interference with the body is removed. When the interference of the body is removed, body functions pretty well. It's called homeostasis. And so when thoughts are there, they're interfering, and then they're causing the body to be in an emergency mode. So meditation, as it removes its thoughts, and then body comes back into a normal mode. When it comes in the normal mode, then it is behaving beautifully, so all health comes back. 90% of the illnesses are due to stress. And so meditation is eliminating stress just very instantaneously, very easily and quickly. It eliminates stress. Within 3 weeks of practice of meditation, that is eliminating stress. That's why it is one of the biggest stress busters that many organizations are encouraging. The second thing is, meditation is essentially, when we can't change the world, and which is, we can't change the world. We see some of the leaders here who are practicing meditation are going to share in the next panel discussion of, rather than trying to change the world, to change yourself. Just like, a small child, when there is a fall, what do? They simply get up and go forward. They don't try to analyze here and say who is the one to fault and why is the stone here, why did it fall, and all that. They don't blame, they don't analyze. So the same thing with meditation improves emotional regulation, intelligence, in a way that our day-to-day issues become non-issues. Traffic jams and people cutting in front of you, there's some bosses hailing at others. Many things become non-issues. We start looking from others' perspective, empathetic, and so then things become, they may be end of the month, money is limited, so then we start worrying about it. So become non-issues and say, okay, I can live through it. It brings that when you can't change the situation, you can be with yourself, because it requires that awareness to be there. It automatically regulates, because it has produces something called many chemicals in the brain. Dopamine, serotonin, all these chemicals are making one feel good, automatically change into good mood, automatically. Whether situations are changing or not doesn't matter, but internally it changes the mood for the individual just by having these chemicals produced. Meditation produces, research is there. And so many issues that are uncontrollable become non-issues over a period of time, right? You can't change your spouse, you can't change your people on the other side, how they change or not, but you can be there because of this internal great amount of change that is happening in the brain and the body. And the third thing that meditation is doing is the significant part, which is what we are fundamentally taking, is growth. It's not only a well-being tool. Meditation is helping to change the mind from a neuro-rigid mind to a plastic mind. A plastic mind is always looking for new ideas. A plastic mind is saying, yes, when you go to a manager and a manager goes to team members and say, our business is asking us to do this, and they probably are asking us to do 5 times stretch target, can we do it? A normal mind is saying, immediately recollecting the past events and saying, oh my God, impossible. Last time we failed. The question is so strong, so I don't think I want to take it up again. And I'm going to be very defensive, so immediately become defensive. But in the new mind, with a meditative mind, which is more conducive, cultivated, now is saying it is because it's spending long time in this alpha, theta brainwave states, and it is saying, okay, let me try. Why not? You understand there are possibilities are there. Why not? I can try. It knows that maybe if I fail, maybe my management may still question me, but here is an opportunity for me to try something new, then try to repeat the same. So they're risk takers. They go into risk. They're ready to try new things. And then that's how a lot of growth happens, because you got to take risks. You got to say yes to new things to try, rather than trying to be taking fixed positions and this is the only way to do. So meditation fundamentally is helping growth for people, for the companies and organizations, individuals. What you think 10, you'll think 100. What you think of 100, you'll think of 1,000, because you're always thinking that many things are possible. By default, we have that. And then the fourth thing, dear friends, is that meditation is developing an unconditional service attitude. What is in it for me will change it to how can I help others by default. When team members are there, by default, because we understand the technology that everything is energy, and then we are limited matter according to quantum physics. And then meditation, when we empty ourselves, and then we are becoming and experiencing this energy field. In the energy field, there is a concept of quantum entanglement, where all are deeply connected, entangled with each other. As deep inside we are energy, and so as an energy field, if you look at ourselves as energy, in the energy we're all connected. And so in meditation we experience that connection, scientifically speaking, and so then we come out of meditation and then we start thinking about, we drop differences with others, and then we greatly connect, we start connecting, we say, how can I help? We might have disagreements, but then when it comes to day to day, we're connecting, dear friends. So meditation is naturally developing great service attitude. That means from an organizational perspective, from community perspective, it is cooperation. People are not trying to say, oh, there's nothing in it for me, let me not bother about it. And nobody has an agenda. The only agenda they have is to see that other person can benefit. That's truly what is happening, because you're experiencing fundamentally that connection when you go into the meditation, which we'll practice shortly. In our programs, we say that consistently 80% of the people and more in all these parameters are showing up that way. And that's how we're able to organize these conferences, because all through volunteers, because they want to help. They see the benefit, want to help. The last thing, and reference of the many benefits, is purpose. We create what we want. Meditation increases growth mindset, so create things. But there will be a point where it needs to be satisfying. It needs to be content and meaningful. And so meditation is bringing the heart and brain coherence. So it's no longer about how much of what I am earning, and how many positions, how much of fame, shame, all that. It's no longer about external thing, people validating you. Instead, it's about internally, when you become coherent, you're asking yourself question, how meaningful my life is, and it's called purpose. We align to a purpose, and then we say, what if I do this is what is important? So it's called going from desires to needs to others' needs. It is the stage. Initially we have a lot of desires, we move to needs of ours, we move to the needs of others as the chain happens. But the point is that everyone has a purpose, and then meditation helps us to align and say, what is my purpose? It fundamentally organized people. People go into organizations, then they fight with politics. But if I went into an organization for a purpose, let's say I wanted to earn money because I want to take care of a non-profit, or I wanted to exhibit my skill and then create something new in this technology. So the purpose alignment comes automatically. With meditation, even though we go in there, the environment is toxic, But then it brings us back into why am I here in this organization? Because my time is valuable. If I spend 5 years doing politics, neither I grow nor organization grows. So it brings us back to the alignment of a goal and a purpose of why I am there. And then slowly, of course, it reveals one's life purpose. So then we look at and say we're experiencing something new greatly than to waste times, I don't know, being into this politics and managing people. So difference. So purpose is understood and so constantly keeps us aligned. And if a group of people are doing together meditation, that group is aligned into a common goal pretty easily. I used to do this in my company. Always used to have from the management team about 17 of us VPs, directors. We sit together and meditate, especially we're doing quarterly plannings. And so that was always helping them, all of us to align and say, what is the common objective than my individual agenda? Nobody's trying to now further their individual agendas there. Right, friends? So this meditation, then let's go in. Meditation means very simple, ending the restless thoughts of the mind. We have thousands of thoughts. We want to end. We want to rest the mind for some time. This very easy. Observing the natural breath. When observe the breath, mind is becoming empty. When mind is empty, we experience total emptiness all around. That emptiness is energy. So they're really pretty simple. So we're going to practice it now. When you apply meditation with pyramids, called pyramid meditation, it's got a lot of positive flow of energy. And so then meditation is a lot more powerful. You see some of the pyramids here that are made. Now, Patriji believed in building pyramids, and then the picture that you see is Pyramid Valley International, which is in Bangalore, where many of us are connected here, is can accommodate 5,000, 4,000 people at a time to meditate. And so I build pyramids so that people can go in and then meditate.